So at the moment, in Sony in Europe, we are close to 40 countries. And the first thing we want to do is we want to align all Sony Europe into one single target, objective, vision, mission. Why? Because we have to think that we are starting from close to 40 different starting points, hence different cultures, 40 different languages, 40 different ways of working. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is really to align ourselves into one single way of working. So the idea is to have joint efforts and to avoid duplications, which at the moment, and in HR in particular, we have many. So at the end of the day, what we want to kind of balance is short versus long term. Why? Because we all know that if you want to change, basically there are a number of things that need to happen. First, there needs to be a real need for change, and we have it. So that's very clear. Second, people need to be willing to change, okay? And third, people need to see that they win something with it. So in the short term, the first thing we have to see is that there are quick wins and people feel that it is really worth changing, right? Then, of course, there is another balance, which is, okay, what about in the long term, there is this kind of balance, and if you want, it's a paradox, because on the one hand, you have this sense of urgency, but on the other, you need time, right? So you need to allow time so that people, change the way they work. They're not going to change overnight, And if we're talking about people probably aged, 40 years old as an average, and after 15, 20 years working in a company, it is very difficult to change overnight. So you need this time, okay? So to do that, we have in HR in Europe we have created 3 vision statements. The first and most important in the short term is to bring the systems and processes into the 21st century. And this is something which is probably not a very sexy objective, but is the first thing in order to then work out the culture and the talent in the way it deserves. So unfortunately, we cannot wait until we have systems and processes in place, but we need to really plan at the same time how to put all of these in place, and at the same time work out which kind of culture we want and how do you want to both attract and retain the talent. So that's the only way in HR that we think we can add value, strategic value to the business. Unfortunately, we have the fame in HR many times, not just in Sony, but in most companies, to be reactive. I would say both reactive and operational. And I'll tell you, we want to be clearly strategic and proactive. So that's the way we understand HR can bring value to the business.